Giannis Antetokounmpo is a genius. Because he put pressure on the Bucks, they just traded for Damian Lillard. See what happens when you're just straight up with your team? He said multiple times, I will leave if we don't build a contender. And it worked. Now, Giannis and Dame will chase championships together, and the East is wide open. Last year, the Heat made the finals as the 8th seed. That says it all. But the Celtics revamped their core, which is a huge gamble. No more Marcus Smart, in comes Kristaps Porzingis. That works on paper, but who knows? According to reports, James Harden won't even show up to Sixers training camp. What a train wreck. And the Heat's offseason has quietly been a disaster. They lose Max Strus and Gabe Vincent. Now they don't get Dame and almost missed the playoffs last year. So the full trade is the Bucks get Dame, the Blazers get Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, Toumani Camara, who was just drafted, a Bucks first-round pick in 2029, and 2 late swaps. Suns get Yusuf Nurkic, Nasir Little, Keon Johnson, and Grayson Allen. There is so much to break down from each team, but this also ensures Giannis will stay in Milwaukee. I love how the Bucks came from absolutely nowhere to get Dame. Like it was the Heat, but then, oh, the Raptors are front runners now. It really shows us what to think about these trade rumors and how quietly the NBA can do business. And the Heat messed up. They didn't want to offer everything for Dame just in case Giannis became available. That is gone. Their best shot now will be to get Donovan Mitchell because reports say he does not want to stay in Cleveland. They go from potentially winning a title next year with Dame to probably a second-round exit, unless Jimmy Butler becomes Michael Jordan like he did last year. Oh, and Jimmy's pretty upset. He tried to tell on the Bucks to the teacher.
Yo, NBA, man, y'all need to look into the Bucks for tampering. Y'all do. I'm just gonna put that out there. Y'all didn't hear it from me, but I heard it through somebody. Y'all look at it for tampering.
But Jimmy defeated the 1 seed Bucks last year as the 8 seed, which is why Dame is in Milwaukee. If you get embarrassed like that with an MVP in his prime like Giannis, heads are gonna roll. First, they fired Coach Mike Budenholzer. Now, it's a huge trade. But I guarantee we will hear a hot take out there that the Bucks are actually worse now. The hot take will say, oh, what about Drew Holiday? He's the best defensive guard in the league, key to their 2021 championship. Dame's a 0 on defense. Yes, that is true, but the modern NBA is all about offense. You can't win if only Giannis can get his own shot. Last year it was so bad, the Heat slowed Giannis down with just bam. It was just dump it into Giannis and watch him work, which isn't that effective because he doesn't have a jump shot. Even a 2-time MVP needs help, but Dame is the perfect fit. In fact, they have wanted to team up for years. This tweet from Dame in 2022 says if he could pick any player in the league to help him make a finals, it would be Giannis. I don't know if Jimmy considers that tampering, but they finally got it done. Dame may be older now, but he's coming off his best season ever. He is the second best shooter in the league next to Steph Curry and will command double teams in the playoffs. That allows Giannis to be himself on offense, not force things, and that is so much more valuable than Drew Holiday's defense. But why did Portland do this? First, huge props to their GM, Joe Cronin. Dame demanded Miami, but he said, no, we will not take a bad deal. Pat Riley offered Tyler Hero and 3 picks. Cronin said, no, give me everything. And Pat said back, you know what, I don't think you can find better than this, but he did. Hero is a horrible fit because Portland already has 3 young guards, Scoot Anderson, Shaedon Sharpe, and Anthony Simons. There were rumors maybe like a Tyrese Maxey, but he's also a guard. DeAndre Ayton is a perfect fit. Just 25 years old and a center to replace Yusuf Nurkic. They also get Drew Holiday, who's going to be a great mentor for Scoot. Drew is known as one of the most professional guys in the NBA, does amazing charity work in the community. They could keep him next to Scoot or flip him later for more pieces. There are already rumors out there that the Sixers want to try to get Drew Holiday or maybe even the Heat. But Portland also gets control of 3 Bucks picks years down the line. So much better than 3 Miami picks. because the Heat are always in contention. Those picks will suck. But by the time Scoot is in his prime, the Blazers could be getting a #1 pick from the Bucks after Giannis is long gone. Now, before we get to Phoenix, I am actually really happy the way this worked out. Dame gets to compete for a title with an MVP teammate, and the Blazers got a great package. His legacy in Portland will always be solid, but it was almost hurt by this trade demand. For a minute, it looked like the Blazers were gonna get screwed, bullied into a bad deal, which would have hurt the fans who loved Dame for years. But this way, everybody wins, and people will forget how uncomfortable these last few months have been. But the Suns may actually be the biggest winners here. They flip a disgruntled, overpaid center for 4 role players. Phoenix is probably the most top-heavy team in the NBA. KD, Booker, Beal, and like a bunch of minimum players, but they turn Ayton into 4 potential rotation guys. Nurkic is more than that. He is gonna start at center, has playoff experience, a much better fit than Ayton because he knows his role. I mean, Ayton was so mad about his fit one time, he refused to go back in a playoff game. He thinks he should be a star, not Nurk. He's gonna be happy to be a support player to the actual stars. Nasir Little is a proven defender in the NBA, but he's still a mystery on offense. Not a huge problem because I think the Suns have offense covered. He did shoot 37% from deep last year, so he will be a quality 3-and-D player with so much spacing in Phoenix. Grayson Allen, also a good shooter. The only question is Keon Johnson, who is a raw prospect, probably won't have a big role. But that is 2 quality frontcourt players to go along with KD, Book, and Beal. We may know the finals. Suns and Bucks, whose starting 5 is Dame, Pat Connaughton, Chris Middleton, Giannis, and Brook Lopez. According to odds makers, they're now the favorites to win the title. Bucks #1, with the Nuggets not far behind, then the Celtics, Suns, and Warriors. This opens up the door for Giannis staying with the Bucks for life and winning multiple titles, something that could have happened if NBA history went a little different. Jimmy High Roller just mentioned this on a recent video, but it's a perfect what if. Back when Steph Curry was dealing with ankle issues, the Warriors tried to trade him to the Bucks for Andrew Bogut. Milwaukee, though, rejected the trade because of those injuries and accepted Monte Ellis instead. A few years later, the Bucks drafted the Greek Freak, so we were very close to seeing Giannis and Steph create a dynasty in Milwaukee instead of the Bay Area. But now, Giannis will get that chance. Dame is the most talented teammate he has ever played with and the closest thing to Steph Curry. We might finally see what Giannis can do with that elite level guard, and if Dame can avoid being one of those great players who never won a chip. But in all this excitement, it is easier and easier to forget about LaMelo Ball. He may be the most talented young American player in the league. It's probably either him or Anthony Edwards, but right now Ant has passed him by. I went ahead and ranked the best and worst young teams in the league and where LaMelo fits in.